They say knowledge is power, but you need the wisdom to understand what this actually means. Welcome to the Decoding Health podcast. I am your host, Dr. Urban A. Kiernan. Each week, we will share the stage with renowned experts as we dismantle the black box of knowledge and unravel the complexities of science and its practical applications in our daily life. This show is committed to illuminating topics ranging from personal health and wellness to cutting-edge biopharmaceutical advancements and beyond. Let's get started.
Okay, so doctor, I know that you love GLP-1s, GLP-2s, GLP-100s. Just kidding, I know you hate them. But now I'm hearing about GLP-3s, and I have to know everything. Please tell me.
Okay. Thank you, Layla. It's nice to have you back on the couch. And I'm laughing with you, not at you. And so, yes, with the GLP-1 receptor agonist, everybody's familiar with the Ozempic and the tirzepatide. Those are the two that are out there. And, you know, we've talked about this like so many times on the show. Even though those are known as, by the layman's, as the GLP-1s, there is no GLP-1 in those molecules.
What? Oh my God.
You don't even watch the show?
No, but why are okay, don't get me started. We're going to derail. I feel like I did that episode, but I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. So nonetheless, like how much GLP-1 is in a GLP-1 receptor agonist? If a GLP-1 receptor agonist could have GLP-1, it's not there. And so, but you're the only place that you can get actual GLP-1 is from your body. Your body makes it. Now, there is GLP-1 and GLP-2. They are both expressed from your intestines as a part of a pro-glucagon molecule that winds up getting cut up. It produces glucagon, GLP-1, and GLP-2. Now, GLP-1, we're all familiar with that. It decreases the expression of ghrelin so that you wind up with a decrease in hunger. That's unfortunately results in the lack of stomach emptying or the gastroparesis as well. But GLP-1 also goes and stimulates your pancreas to make insulin. And that's why it was so interested in that in terms of being a type 2 diabetes drug, is to get your body to make, for sugar control. Now, GLP-2 does a very different function. It's more responsible for like gut healing. They use it as a therapeutic for like irritable bowel syndrome as well as short gut syndrome. So there is utility to do that. Those are what are produced by the body. There is no such thing as a GLP-3.
Okay.
It's a freaking marketing term. And like I saw that, it's just like if somebody goes and calls, a triple. So long story short, you've got GLP-1 receptor agonists. Mm-hmm. That is just, that's your semaglutide. You've got your GLP-1 receptor agonist and your GIP, your gastric inhibitory polypeptide receptor agonist. And that's your tirzepatide. A dual agonist, because there's two of them in there in one molecule. Now there's a next generation molecule coming out from Eli Lilly. It doesn't have a name yet because it's still going through clinical trials. The name of the molecule is ritatrutide. There is no brand name yet because it hasn't been approved yet. That is what people are calling GLP-3 because it's tirzepatide with the addition of a glucagon receptor agonist on it.
So I've seen a ton of people actually on TikTok, especially talking about how they switched off of either semaglutide or tirzepatide, and now they're on ritatrutide. That one.
Ritatrutide.
Yeah,
yes, I had to practice that myself to be able to say it. And for the record, from a weight loss perspective, it works. It absolutely works.
Well, they all do, right?
They all do. They all do. And the simple fact that they have included the glucagon receptor agonist as a part of it. So it's your triple G, not to get confused with like the wrestler Triple H, Again, all of these are like marketing terms. And I've seen those posts that are out there, and it blows my mind because Eli Lilly owns that molecule. Okay. It is still going through clinical trials. So It is not available for human use. These people who are using this are buying it for research use only.
How are they getting it, right? How is bodybuilder Bob down the street accessing this?
They're buying it online from some online vendor in which there's no quality controls. There's no consistency in manufacturing.
Is it like a compounding pharmacy that's like...
It's not even compounding pharmacies, because I'm sure there are some compounding pharmacies that are doing this, but that's going to be very, very short-lived, because that's just at the beginning stages of its intellectual property life cycle. So that's patent infringement, and they will get the shit sued out of them. Like, I'm a drug innovator. If somebody was utilizing my drugs and not paying us for it, yeah, we are going to sue the crap out of you. Actually,
Right.
you have to do that. The thing that I'm more concerned with is I'm really big on safety. And the simple fact that these haven't gone through full clinical trials, what they're seeing so far, does it work? Absolutely. But there's no regulatory in manufacturing. A lot of these places, what they're doing is they're buying the raw active ingredient from China or India. They're getting it shipped over here, and all they're doing is they're turning around, putting in some sort of solvent, putting it in a vial, and then they're just shipping it to people's houses.
Decoding Health is proud to announce that it has established a partnership with Unicity International, the healthcare intervention company, on a mission to make metabolic health doable and accessible for people everywhere. Through this partnership, each and every one of you Decoding Health podcast viewers will get special access to Unicity products. This includes wholesale pricing along with a money-back guarantee. Ready to learn more about how to reclaim your metabolic health? Click on the link below and get introduced to the Feel Great system, a scientifically proven approach to boosting the body's natural GLP-1 production. Stop this GLP-1 receptor agonist craze and give this all-natural approach a try and start your metabolic health recovery now.
Okay, and it just...
honestly, this reminds me so much of a certain vaccine that was really popular in 2020.
Well, but see, with that though, that was being pushed on us by the freaking government, which is a huge... Government, don't do that.
Yeah, but it got approved in about 45 seconds compared to what the normal process for a vaccine typically takes.
And I agree with that, but that was all pushed through under the premise of a huge unmet medical need. And I understand why that happens. I'm more upset with the fact that when it received its emergency authorization, it wasn't a unanimous vote. Like, there were people on the vote who voted against it. That's how concerned they were. They didn't publish the comments. They published the end of the result, and people were pissed off. Why wasn't this unanimous? So when it went through full authorization, no comments were published, and there was no vote that was published. So we don't know if anybody argued against the full approval of that. We're digressing, on this,
sure.
But like, I wanted to make that point that, there was an initial need, but not everybody was on board with that. When it comes to what bodybuilder Bob is doing down the street, there is nothing to go with that. And like, I even turn around and question, because you get these ads on like social media, and it says, oh, this is, you can go and get this peptide for your research purposes. And then it's like, it's research use only, disclaimer, not for human not for human use. Like, what are you using? Like, are you injecting your dog? It's just like, it blows my mind. And, the simple fact that it's a research grade chemical and they're shipping it to somebody's house, that's a huge red flag. Because again, I own my own drug company, and there was one time, small company, there isn't always somebody at the site to receive shipment. I was going to have, I placed an order, and they said it was going to ship, but I was going to be away on vacation. And I contacted the vendor. I'm like, hey, is there any way you can ship this to my house? This is a legitimate research grade material, just for research. Can you ship it to my house? No. We have to ship this to a business because this is a research use only material. So I had to pay my daughter to go and sit at the site because my wife and I and son were off on vacation. Grown up daughter, I didn't leave her alone, but had to go and wait to sign off on this FedEx delivery and put it in the appropriate freezer, simply because they would not ship it to the house otherwise, because that's a huge no-no when you don't ship research chemicals to people's homes.
So is it just somebody looking to make $1 off of this craze, and then they're ordering this stuff from India and China and wherever else, and then they're putting out the ads and then reselling it and saying it's for research?
Yes.
Is that how it's happening?
It
so
is.
like
then,
you and I could technically do this if we wanted to be weird.
Oh, we could if we wanted to. Do I recommend it? And because I care about you, if you were going to inject yourself with that, I would be like, Layla, please don't, because even though they sit there and they say, oh, it's 98% pure, okay, fine. Show me the certificate of analysis, the C of A. I've requested that from many of these vendors before, and either they refuse to send them to me, or they've sent me C of A's of different products. And it's like, that's great. That's not the product I requested. So fine, it's 98% pure. What is that 2%? Because the last time I checked that 2%, it could kill you.
100%.
Okay, and here, this is not a shot on China or like on India. When you go and you look at some of these lower quality manufacturing facilities, they wind up with like heavy metal contamination in that. Like, you're going to inject yourself with cadmium? Like, you can't get that. You cannot easily get that out of yourself. You inject yourself with lead, mercury, you're SOL. So, back to your original question, when it comes to the GLP-3, there is no such thing. It's a marketing term. Okay. There's no science behind that. Somebody's just trying to sell you something. Again, I'm a capitalist. I'm all about making money. This is the wrong way to fricking do it. Okay. Yeah. They're preying off of the data and the enthusiasm and excitement that's already out there with
for the GLP-1s,
the GLP-1 receptor agonists, and the whole craze around that. Here's this next one, and there is data that is showing that this is in an even more significant direction from a weight loss perspective. But it's not the drug that's being tested.
Right.
That is owned by Eli Lilly, and that's
how far is Eli Lilly from being able to bring it to market, do you think?
It's probably another year and a half.
Okay.
Before
this is a while.
Well, yeah, because it has to be done by the book, again, under the premise of safety.
Right.
So I was reading up, I saw some stuff for the Eli Lilly ritatrutide phase 2 stuff. I do believe they're already in phase 3. I've seen nothing regarding the PDUFA filing date for it, but normally that doesn't come until the phase 3 clinical trials. Those have concluded, and then they file the paperwork to go in for the actual approval of their biologics license application, so that they can market this to the masses and stuff. And so it's just, there's just so much craziness out there. And, I've talked about this before, there's a responsibility for these vendors to do the right thing with this, but at the same token too, on the consumer side,
be smarter.
Absolutely.
Be smarter, do better.
Absolutely. And so, it's, I'm seeing all this stuff around the GLP-3 out there, and just the craziness of just using experimental material that is not meant to be put in the human body. So, sorry for getting so fired up on this, but it's driving me.
No, I mean, I think
nuts.
that a lot of people who watch this show probably, if they are interested in the GLPs, they're going to want to know everything about this. And I've seen it a bunch.
Yep.
I see all that kind of stuff on my TikTok, and I'm like, this is interesting. I haven't seen commercials on TV or anything for it. It's all just typically men, honestly, posting about, oh, I'm on this one and it's been great. And
it's going to be, your term bodybuilder Bob.
Yeah.
This whole growing thing in the bodybuilding community where they're microdosing this, and that's great. That's what they're going to do. But if you're the average everyday person that is just trying to go and live a healthy lifestyle, that is not the way to go and do it. As much as I shit on these drugs, it's not about the drugs themselves. It's the irresponsible way that they're being used. That's the issue that I have. If somebody was like on this couch, weighed 600 pounds and couldn't get up off this drug, the first thing that would come to my mind is we need to start dosing them with this drug to get this weight under control so they can begin moving. But now that you've met this goal, we're going to titrate you off of this drug, and we're going to move you on to more lifestyle type approaches for you to get the discipline and get a handle on your condition, because you're just going to wind up being somebody who's skinny fat.
This message is for athletes, CEOs, and high-level entrepreneurs only. So if you aren't one, keep scrolling. You've already mastered your field. Now it's time to own the mic. At PS Studios, we do podcast production for you, not with you. From strategy to recording to distribution, our done-for-you service is built for leaders who don't have time to tinker. We partner with elite clientele across the country, producing podcasts that amplify authority, expand influence, and open doors you didn't know were waiting. The leaders we work with don't hesitate. Lock in your call before our calendar's full. There's actually a girl I saw on TikTok last night, and she was 214 pounds to start. She's now 117 maybe, and she's been on, I think, either Ozempic or tirzepatide for 15 months, and she was doing a post on TikTok of like how much she lost each month on it. And obviously she looks like incredibly smaller, but she looks frail, like sickly now. It's like, you've got to stop. And then one of her things, she was like, I hate when people tell me that I have to stop. Like, I'm going to take this forever, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, if you are super duper skinny, right? Like, when does it stop, first off? But secondly, to be on it forever, like, you better be on the lowest dose possible. And I know she was on higher doses when she was larger, but in terms of titrating off, and then we can wrap this up, if somebody is looking to get off of it, is going cold turkey a bad route? Or should you, like, gradually, if she was at 10 milligrams, like start to dwindle down a little bit?
The rebound, nobody has enjoyed their process of getting off of those drugs.
Okay.
The more significant the weight loss, the more significant the rebound is going to be.
Really?
Yeah. And like,
so that's why she's like, I'm going to be on it forever. I just don't want to be fat again.
Well, if her body can tolerate it.
Yeah.
Or she might have to get a portion of her bowel removed eventually, or she might go blind. I don't know. But what she's got a fatal flaw in her thought process and reasoning, behind this. And so, yes, could you in theory go on, titrate up, titrate down? Yes, but you also have to implement the discipline and the lifestyle changes necessary to be able to turn around and support that. It can absolutely be done. But what we're seeing right now is people going off cold turkey. Part of the reason they're going off cold turkey is their insurance stopped covering them. Or there was a medical issue and you had your gallbladder removed. Mm-hmm. Okay. They go off of the drug. Boom. You put all that weight back on. And you are in a worse metabolic state prior to going in because you lost the sarcopenia, the loss of muscle tissue. I know people who have done, one of the GLP-1 receptor agonists, and 2 years later, they're still struggling. They still feel the sarcopenia.
I have terrible news to share with you. And since you all are watching and you've probably seen this episode, you know how Emily had to have her gallbladder removed off of semaglutide? She's now lost over 60 pounds on tirzepatide. She's back at it.
Oh my goodness.
But she looks amazing and she's so much happier. But yeah, I was like, I hope you don't get any side effects. She's doing a very low dose compared to what she did before. When she was on semaglutide from some med spa, she was just like jacked up on the dose. And I think she's doing the lowest level of tirzepatide, and it's working because after she had lost the weight on semaglutide and lost her gallbladder, she then gained it all back, as we just talked about. And then she was frustrated, goes on tirzepatide, has now lost a bunch of it, but she's doing it on the lower dose and she's not increasing it. So at least that's a little bit healthier in that scheme of things.
Do you know if she's using the name brand?
She's not. She's got a legitimate doctor, like not some med spa doctor, like an actual MD who's in charge of it, and she's getting it compounded with some other like B12, NAD, blah, 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 whatever else they can put into those things.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's working for her.
She's had no side effects so far, but I'm like, the gallbladder's gone, so we don't have to worry about that one again.
But again, we did the episode on the $2 billion lawsuit that's going on out there. Like that spontaneous blindness, that's
terrible.
That is scary. And the data that's now coming out regarding the differences between the name brand versus the compounded and the rates of injury when it comes to the compounded versus
It's higher?
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, you got to watch that episode, Layla.
I do need to.
Yeah, it's you are 235% more likely to be hospitalized
On a
on a
compound.
compounded version than you are from the name brand.
Okay, I'll watch that one next.
Yes.
All right, and then as the next follow-up, we need to do what's going on with the female Viagra. We need to know what you've learned about that since we talked about it. I had tons of questions. I told people about it at a dinner party, and they're like, tell me everything. I'm like, I don't know much.
But the PT141, the Vyleesi, yes. We'll do another one, but I got you covered.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you for telling me all about GLP-3.
You got it.